and hire people that are probably way better at you because you can't do everything, right? Turns out I suck at creative. I'm a horrible tech guy, but I can talk to people. So it turns out I can hire people that are much better than me. So if you can scale past yourself, you might have the chance to be a big business. And finally, again, I'm simplifying this quite a bit because a lot goes into all this stuff, but at some point, right, you may get tired of the business or you may want to sell it or somebody approaches you. We were approached by venture capitalists. We didn't approach them to invest in our business. And so you got to make the determination whether you should take investors on, whether you should keep going or sell the business. Now the goal for you then is to sell the business for as much possible money as you can. So you want to look at the offer, right? Some offers come in terms of cash, stock, earn out, all kinds of things, but that's the goal. And if you're anything like me, I have got, perpetual ADD. You can rinse and repeat this stuff. Once you know the system for creating businesses, either businesses or media buying, you can recreate it because you already know the recipe. You know how to do it, you know how to fund it, you know how to build it in such a way that you can sell it. So that's the idea. Okay, what I'll talk about now, we'll give these guys a couple more minutes to wake up from waking up. But here's the top 5 mistakes that people do when they try to build big businesses. And we bought 5 companies last year, between last year and the year before, and it's the same thing over and over again. They start at this huge price, right? And I know, because I've done this repeatedly, how I can whack the price down, all right? It's very simple. If you're key man dependent and key woman dependent, and I know it and you know it, cut the price in half. Because as a buyer, right, I'm saying, now if this guy gets hit by a bus, or if I give him a bunch of cash, now he wants to party in Brazil all day long, the business is worth 0. So you have to figure out a way to make you not part of the equation. So you've got to build your businesses in such a way that you're just like an employee working there. You might own all of it, but you're not responsible for it. Because if you don't do that, I guarantee your business is worth at least half of what you think it's worth. Second thing, and this is again, people start at $1 million and I buy companies for like 50 grand, okay? Because the same stuff goes over and over. So if you can avoid this stuff by building this stuff in, if you're interested but you should do this even as a lifestyle business, but it's more important if you want to build it and sell it. But you can't have a concentration of customers or a lack of forecasting. I as a business guy will buy businesses that I can forecast out a series of cash flows over time. If you're telling me that your business has one source of distribution, like I buy on Google, and one customer, ClickBank, dude, cut it in half again. Easy. Cut it in 3/4. Because I know that you lose one of those things of points of distribution or you lose one customer, I have a worthless asset now. So I'll cut it in half again. No solid bookkeeping or no audited financials. That's another big one. We buy these businesses and some guy would give me some receipts or something and say, I do $50K a month and this is my stuff. Right? How do I know that? You could be taking that and spending it. You have to take some time so that when you sell businesses, you have everything in order. These are audited financials that show not only what I've done, but what I will do down the road, okay? So every investor is going to want to see not only your historicals, but what you think this business is going to do, and that's the forecasting piece of it. This is a big one, no technology, okay? Now, whether or not the technology is complete BS or not, doesn't matter, okay? What this means, though, is that you've got to have a story. You've got to have something that's unique to a buyer, and technology is one aspect of it. So, we built all these systems that we named them pretty names, but they were basic stuff. The guys that we were buying, they had no technology. They had nothing special about their business that couldn't be replicated very, very quickly. So if you can give the perception, or it actually is real, that what you've built here is an asset that can't be replicated quickly, I guarantee you'll double the price of your company. So think about building, even if you have no technology, name it something. Name it the Shaq Fu Diesel money machine, right? And it's this black box that just spits out money. They just bring you wheelbarrows full of money every day, gold bars. That has an element of it that someone's saying, I can't replicate that very, very easily. So that's the idea. And then finally, what gets in the way of businesses being sold is your ego. And I think I learned this lesson very well because in the Bay Area in the 90s, in the States, we like to invent problems, right? We make up stuff to feel bad about. But there's this thing called instant wealth syndrome, right? I saw all this massive amount of wealth being created during the first dot-com wave, and all of a sudden it was all wiped out. Okay, guys had hundreds of millions of bucks in stock. All of a sudden it was worth zero. So it just really messed them up. And I saw that. And in the next wave, which I was a part of, I would see people that would overvalue their companies. I mean, there was a company called Adteractive, which was an affiliate network that was built just like ours. Okay, and we were the losers because we sold for 30 million bucks. Okay, I'm sorry, I suck. And they were getting offers for $300 million. Okay, this is like a year later. So it really began to build the fuel about these CPA networks. And honestly, when they peeled them back, they realized they had no technology. It was a bunch of 19-year-old kids doing all of it. Their advertisers were shady, and so it was worth a lot. Now it's worth a lot less. But I mean, they have these offers for $300 million, okay? I mean, what could you do with that kind of money? And the answer was, no. No, I need it to be 500 million bucks. That's what it's worth. And I'd be like, are you, you crazy? Like you have these offers, so like the best piece of advice I ever got in this world, and it's a very, you guys remember Lycos? Yeah, Lycos, okay, Lycos, man, those guys were awesome. But I remember eating food, and we were talking about selling businesses, and someone said, look, if somebody serves you food, like you can look at it a little bit, then you just eat it, right? You eat it, right? If it's not rotten or gross, you just eat the food. Like if somebody gives you a good offer, you take it because you never know what's going to happen down the road. So, another company in our space called Web Clients sold to ValueClick for 130 million bucks. Okay, 130 million bucks. My friend Josh built it. Very, very rich dude. And they were the laughing stock because they only sold for 130 million bucks. Okay, fast forward 2 years later, companies aren't worth that much anymore. And the guys that were trying to sell their companies for 300 million bucks can't get anything for them because people. So just know that if a good offer comes around, take it. Right? I'll take cash any day before the promise. So I think that's the big businesses. That's the idea there. Don't let yourself get in the way. Don't let your ego get in the way. If you can make some money, just make it. Finally, I think I've told you, lifestyle businesses don't get sold, but companies do. I think this is a recap of my mistakes. If you are the business or the business hasn't scaled, that's problem number one. Problem number two is if you have a concentration of customers or a lack of forecasting, if you're key customer dependent, if you have very limited growth projections. Big businesses are based on this hockey stick growth. So if your business grows like 5% per year, you won't get a lot for it. But in our case, we were growing, we were doubling every month. And that's a pretty big business that people are excited about. Or inability to defend projections. People would tell me, well, in 2011, I'm going to do this. Really? How's that going to happen? And they couldn't tell me how many customers it took, how much they couldn't defend their projections. So you got to be able to do that. We talked about no solid bookkeeping. Sloppy accounting just means you ratchet the price down. No technology, nothing defensible. You don't sell for very much. Systems that don't scale. In other words, if you've built something but it can't scale and you can't defend your projections, they tend not to sell for too much. So finally, I'll leave you with this. I mean, there are some fundamentals in what you guys do, and it relates to, like, we talked about being affiliate, an offer-based affiliate or a distribution-based, but figure out your niche. Okay, what is it you like about what you're doing? Just try to stick with something that you like that makes money. You've got to be excited about it. We've built a lot of businesses that we weren't too enamored with. Adware businesses, big email spamming businesses, that at the end of the day, with your time on this planet, you just don't love it too much. It makes money, but you're just not going to be that good at it because you're going to hate it. I've gotten fired along the way, so be willing to keep moving in this space. If you stay around long enough, you might get fired. We were fired by a company that we started, NetBlue, by the VCs, and that was the best thing that ever happened to me. And then finally, I'll just say business is personal, but just don't take it personally. I can't tell you that the business is very personal. People that tell me the business isn't personal are lying. We're all about making connections. We like people. We don't like people. The people that we don't like, that we don't do business with, they're all assholes. The people that we work with, like, you're my best friend. So it's very personal. Business is very personal. I've always maintained that. And I'll keep saying that. So anyway, that's my presentation for business building. Are there any questions about this stuff before we get into my calls with our friends here? Yes, sir. Want to wait for the mic here? Or?
Your businesses that you've sold for huge money, who's placed the value on it, and why did they place that
So it's a combination of many things, right? It's a combination of what's happening in the space. When we sold MetaReward, affiliate marketing was a very hot concept, so it was very much hyped. You look at the businesses that are selling today in the mobile space. You know, AdMob, for example, sells for $750 million or something like that. You look at MySpace. So in my last company, my partner was the co-founder of MySpace. Okay, and this is the example he gave me. So MySpace sold for $400 million, right? Amazing number. And if you look at the overall revenue impact, so Intermix, which created MySpace, was doing $100 million a year, pretty impressive, of which MySpace was $5 million of that. What they did was, since they realized that social networks were coming up and MySpace was the first one, they threw away $95 million worth of business. They basically shut that down, all for MySpace. So, you know, a lot of it is just hype. A lot of it's just like, are you on this big train that's moving very quickly? Mobile companies are being snapped up right now because most people believe that we're going to be looking at ads on our cell phones and our iPads. So there's a huge war in mobile right now. You know, like you wonder, you know, will Twitter get snapped up? Dig.com. I mean, you know, who will Facebook buy now? So a lot of it's hype. You know, a lot of it's irrational, like depending on what the market is. Some of it is rational. So they'll look at your projections. They'll say, okay, I did $5 million this year. I'm projected to do 10 million next year. And so based on that, we'll do some math and we'll give you 3 times forward-looking earnings, or we'll give you 6 times historical earnings, and we'll come up with a price. So it really is a process. Every buyer is different. So I hate to give you just your job is to sell for as much as you possibly can. Like, be brutal about it. Just sell it for as much as you possibly can, and then that's the price. You know what I mean? So, anyone else? Okay. I'm going to give these, well, we're almost ready to go here. So I'm going to keep going with these guys, and I'm going to move over there. So again, hopefully this works the first time. So these are 2 guys. We're back now to media buying. One of them is it's a company called Plenty of Fish. As I spoke to you about, you can Google them, but they're a very, very large dating site. We're going to talk about what makes people successful on Plenty of Fish as advertisers. And then we'll get through that, and then we'll talk to Drew, who, as I've spoken about before, is a fairly prolific media buyer. So, you guys ready to do that? You're all good? Yeah. All right. Yeah, cool. Let's see if this works here. Let's see how good technology is. So I am going to sit over here. Oh yeah, we can. Probably the picture of their website. Yes, sure. Let's. See which one is the.
That's what I had the problem before. Yours is the other way around. Is this one? Is that one? This one's the image.
All right, here. All right, so here's our friends, Plenty of Fish. There's 135 million monthly visitors. They're larger than every other dating site combined on the planet, which is pretty cool. They're very, very big. The reason I like them is that they allow you to do things that Facebook doesn't. So one big technique on Facebook back in the day not too long ago was your ability to call out people's name in the banner ads, and not their name, but their age and the demographics. And that ended up being a really huge thing because you get much, much higher conversion rate. So we're going to call Ben. Ben is the lead sales guy. Plenty of Fish is a very, very small company from a size point of view, but they do a remarkable amount of volume.
Well, you might want to hide the highest number.
Everybody close their eyes. Here, you want to turn it off? Because he might really get mad at me if I. But you guys wouldn't call him, would you? No? He's a good guy. All right, Ben, you better be awake here, buddy. Let's see if he's awake. He's a really good guy. I give him a hard time all the time because I said, so now you're running this dating site, so you're a single guy. You get to see all the profiles, don't you? And he like gives me a kind of a smile, and he says, yeah, I know. I get to like pick the really cute ones or whatever. All right, let's see if this works, guys. Hold your breath here, and then we'll pop back to the site. All right. 1778. Are you getting sound there?
Volume's a bit low on there. Just
Ah.
volume on this one.
All right. I got it. Yeah. Hopefully this works. Now you want to turn the thing back on?
Hi, this is Ben speaking.
Ben.
Hey,
Big Ben, how are you, buddy?
good. How are you doing, Scott?
Good, good. It's Scott. I hope. Yeah. Hopefully you know that.
Yep. No one else is calling at 8 a.m.
That's right. That's right. So, Ben. So I've got we've got about 80 people in the room. These are
Okay.
New affiliates, seasoned affiliates, all kinds of affiliates, and we've been talking about what an amazing thing Plenty of Fish is for the affiliate marketer. And so you've been nice enough on a Sunday to wake up early, and your girlfriend's mad at you, right?
No, she's sleeping blissfully.
Got it. All right. So you guys are in Vancouver, yeah?
We are, yeah. Right on the west coast of Canada there.
Awesome, awesome. So, well, again, hey, first of all, thank you very much. I think we're all, everyone here we've been cranking away at this stuff for a couple days, and so everyone's excited to hear about Plenty of Fish. Ben, do you want to start by just kind of explaining to people what Plenty of Fish is and why it's so great?
Okay. Well, generally, Plenty of Fish is the world's largest dating website. It's the #1 in the U.S., the U.K., and Canada. #3 in Australia. So we've come to kind of dominate the English-speaking market. We are a dating site. It's 100% free, so our users don't actually pay anything to use our site, which is why we have the most members. In turn, we have a lot of traffic for advertisers to monetize.
That's awesome. And Ben, can you give people a perspective of when you say a lot of traffic? Do you guys share any stats with how big you guys are, so that people get a sense of how much media they can buy with you guys?
Yep. On a monthly basis, the website gets about 2.6 billion impressions.
We got some like comments here in the crowd, like, whoa.
Yeah, it's quite a sizable size. I think the members themselves are up to about 22 million now, if I'm not mistaken. So potentially a lot of people to reach out there with your message.
And can you talk a little bit about the types of advertising creative that you guys allow people to run in terms of like size and what that looks like?
Sure. Well, we generally have two types of ads. The first type of ad, which comes with a minimum $25 deposit, is the 110 by 80 graphics with the text beside them. So very similar to what Facebook offers. This allows you to upload a image that's 110 by 80 in size, and also allows you to type in a headline and some ad text. One of the main advantages of this ad size in particular is that we do allow dynamic variables to be inserted. And basically what that means is we can pull user information from their profile and put it into your ad. And we can do this for someone's state, age, and gender. So what in effect what you can do is create an ad that says, hey, are you from state and aged whatever number it is? And if I was a 26-year-old from New York, your ad to me would appear to say, hey, are you from New York and 26 years old? And that makes your ad a lot more applicable and therefore a lot more relatable to the user. And therefore they're much more likely to click on it as if you just ran a general ad.
That's a really good point, Ben, because as we both follow what's happening with Facebook, Facebook doesn't seem to be as friendly to the affiliate as it did just several years ago, and it seems like this is one of the big differentiators with you guys relative to Facebook, is that you're allowing the advertisers to use much more of the demographic profiling to target their ads much more effectively, yeah?
Right, exactly. We allow you to call out user variables, and in terms of customer service, especially for new affiliates, we're a lot more friendly. Maybe because we're Canadian, who knows, right? But I mean, if if you need help, if you have a question, most likely you'll actually be talking to me via email or by phone, whatever way is most comfortable for you. And I'm very good in terms of answering questions by email, usually within the day, usually within the hour, actually, given it's between 9 to 5 when I'm working, right? But you know, just from general feedback from other affiliates, it's one of the most affiliate-friendly websites that you can advertise on.
Yeah, I can definitely concur. I mean, you guys have been the easiest. Now, can you talk about, I know you can't mention specifics in terms of, you know, perhaps actual campaigns. We're kind of going through the site now. We're seeing a variety of different offers, you know. But can you talk about, first off, what type of affiliate works really well with you guys? And maybe just the makeup. Are they big? Are they small? The types of ads they focus on?
Okay, sure. Well, the most successful affiliate on our site are going to be the guys who are organized. What I mean is, you know, our deposit is $25 minimum, which is not much at all, relatively speaking. What I like to see is someone use that $25 towards one campaign or one sort of offer, and I like to see them keep themselves organized, and that's usually what leads to success. What I mean by organized is they will take the offer, test that offer on multiple demographics, you know, to see which demographic is more likely to respond to the offer, and after that, test different images and headlines to see which ad achieves the best click-through rate. The most important thing, I think, for newer affiliates is just not to get discouraged if your initial tests don't, you know, pan out the way you want them to. You know, that's pretty normal. Success comes with split testing, and with our targeting capabilities, which is essentially our strength. There's a lot of room to be creative and a lot of room to have fun with it. So, for example, if you had a weight loss campaign, most other platforms will allow you to target the geography, the age, and the gender of the person. So perhaps U.S. female, 30 to 50 years old. What we can do is we can then target them by their income, their smoking habits, their drinking habits, their ethnicity, if they have children, their profession, and most importantly, we can target by body type as well. So instead of doing the U.S. 30 to 50 female, you can now do U.S. 30 to 50 female who has children, so you know it's a mother, so you can then start putting that into your ad. Right. Who has a heavier body type, so you know the offer is going to be relevant to the heavier body types, and also who makes a higher income, so you know that they'll be able to afford the weight loss product. So that you can do on Plenty of Fish.
Now, Ben, when I'm on Plenty of Fish, I notice a lot of weight loss banner ads. Is that a nice way of you calling me fat?
No, not at all.
That was my joke. Okay, that was my joke. Sorry. That was good, right? That was good.
That was good.
Thank you. So can you walk me through, so you've mentioned two big verticals that seem to work well on Plenty of Fish, diet and dating sites. Are those your two biggest verticals now, or what other verticals, advertising verticals, are you seeing that do well on Plenty of Fish? Or are those really a lot of it?
Definitely dating. Dating is a huge vertical on Plenty of Fish. Given the targeting that we offer, there are a lot of niche dating sites out there. You know, we have the